Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Jones and we are going to be talking about the volume of 3 different types of figures, and the volume would be how much space is inside. And we are talking about, as I said, 3 types of shapes. One type of shape would be a cylinder, and that would be kind of like a can would be a cylinder. It has a circular base, like this. We can also have a cylinder that has a larger base, like this can of tuna, and it doesn't have very much of a height to it, but it has a large base. So we'll be talking about cylinders. We'll be talking about cones. And cones, kind of like this funnel here, this is kind of in the shape of a cone, and it also has a circular base to it. And then the third type of shape, or the third one that we're going to be talking about, is a sphere. And a sphere is like a ball, like a ping pong ball, baseball, something like that. So here we go. Okay, the first type we're going to talk about is how do you find the volume of a cylinder. And a cylinder is a shape that has a circular base, and then you have the height of the item, like this. And so to find out what's inside, you need to know 3 different things. So let's go over the different things that you need to know what they are. You will need to know pi, which if you have your answer in terms of pi, you're going to have pi in your answer, and we will see some of those examples. If you were to solve it all the way out, then in place of pi, you would substitute in, of course, 3.14. You're also going to be seeing an R, and R stands for radius. And the radius is the distance from the center of a circle to the outside. So it's like half the distance across. That would be the radius. If they give you the diameter of the base, the diameter would be the distance all the way across. Well, of course, you would need to half that in order to get your R, or the radius. So half of this diameter would be equal to the radius. And in these problems, you're going to have to know that H stands for the height. Height, not height. There we go. Okay, so let's start with a cylinder. Now, when you're doing the formula for a cylinder, you basically want to do the base times the height. But what we're going to do is, instead of doing B for the base, to find the base, we're going to do pi r squared times the height. So when you get a figure like this cylinder, it's going to tell you what is the radius, which will be the distance from the middle out, and they'll also tell you the height of your cylinder. You would take those values and substitute them in for your R and your H. If they want your answer in terms of pi, you're just going to square the R times the H, and that would be in your answer with the pi. If they want your answer in terms of in like a decimal form, the last step then would be to multiply it times pi. Okay, let's look at the next one, and that would be a cone. A cone also has a circular base, just like the cylinder. And then the height you would find in this. Now here's the thing about a cone. A cone is actually 1/3 of a cylinder. So you still have your R, which is your radius, and you still have your height. But this cone is 1/3 of a cylinder. Therefore, the formula you're going to use for a cone is volume equals 1/3 times pi r squared h. So you're actually going to be using the same formula you used for a cylinder. You're just going to multiply that times 1/3. Or you're going to find it and then divide it by 3. Multiplying by 1/3 is the exact same as dividing this by 3. They're the same thing. Okay, and the third type we're going to learn about is how do you find the volume of a sphere? And a sphere is a circle, and it's like this. So we're going to look inside, basically inside of it, and we're also going to use the radius here. So the radius is going to be your distance, once again, from the center to the outside. Now, a sphere doesn't have a height. So the formula you actually have for a sphere is volume is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. That's the formula you're going to use in order to find the volume of a sphere. All right, so when you are working on any of these 3 formulas, you're just going to have to find out what's the radius, and you've substituted in under the R in each problem. For the cylinder and the cone, you're going to also be told the height, and you would put it under your H. And then you have your pi. And your pi is always going to be 3.14. One thing you really have to watch for is if in the problem they give you the diameter instead of the radius, you are going to want to half it to get your radius. So these are your 3 formulas you're going to have to memorize in order to find the volume of a cylinder, a cone, and a sphere. Thank you. Have a great day.